All right, there's a lot of stuff to go over, so I'm going to get right into it. Bitcoin has put in a new all-time high. That happened on Monday, and we do currently have daily bearish divergences. With the daily momentum wave divergences continuing, momentum continues to put in lower highs since this anchor wave all the way back here. Price has continued to put in higher highs. Momentum has continued to put in lower highs, and we are also seeing the money flow trending to the downside, putting in lower highs as well. But I'm not going to jump to conclusions with this divergence. I'm definitely not going to say that this is a surefire top signal, at least locally speaking, and it could cause for a further retracement. We just took out a range high, and well, we are currently still ranging. So the most I could say about this right now is that the divergence on the daily time frame makes me think that there's a better chance that we just retrace into this range and continue moving sideways. But that is just from looking at the daily time frame. Let's click around to some other time frames. So on the weekly, we have a green dot currently, and it is just below the 60 line, it appears. So yeah, momentum slipped a little bit below the 60 line, but we're currently trying to fight it. We're trying to get back above it. Money flow got another little tick to the upside. The 3-day time frame, we still don't have a red dot on the momentum wave. It's still moving to the upside. It is currently diverging, but it hasn't printed a red dot, so it hasn't printed a local top. Money flow still looks, generally healthy on the 3-day. It's continuing to the upside in this little local uptrend. We, still have a lower high from all the way back here, which, that was actually the first time that we touched all-time high. Locally speaking, the money flow does not look as bad as the daily time frame, but there is still a clear divergence here. 2-day is basically the same story. We don't have a red dot here either yet, and money flow still looks pretty good on the 2-day. It's only when you get down to the daily that you start to see it come out a bit. It's starting a little local downtrend. But, I've mentioned this about the daily time frame before. We still have an overall uptrend where we put in a low, a high, a higher low. And you could technically just say that this itself is just a higher high, so potentially we're just retracing for a higher low to continue the uptrend. So in other words, I think the overall direction of the money flow to the upside could continue after this retrace. We could just be coming down for a higher low. Now, as you get to the 18-hour and the 12-hour, you start to see that the money flow, has retraced significantly. It's come below the zero line, gotten the purple, and is beginning some sort of a local uptrend. The momentum waves on the top side of the zero line are putting in higher highs, and we have even, a little higher low here. So we're getting a little bit of local direction after retracing, which gives me a little bit of hope that possibly, the higher low is already in on the daily time frame, or that will bottom out somewhere around here. And as we continue down, the 8-hour got a pretty aggressive move to the upside after slipping below the zero line. So that is pretty good follow through following this retrace below the zero line. Let's check the time frames below it. 6 hours, pretty similar story, decent follow through so far. 4-hour as well. We are currently trying to continue the uptrend after we put in a higher low. We're now trying to put in a higher high. We may have already technically, but it was very insignificant. I'd like to see money flow actually put in, a significant higher high. The midterm time frames, a bit of flopping and groping here, but we still can say that possibly the uptrend is continuing. We kind of put in a double bottom here with this one, but we could still say that, there's hope that overall direction continues here. And these midterm time frames, we're seeing things retrace after taking out all-time high. We also had local divergences as we worked our way up here. So on the 1-hour, momentum was putting in lower highs as price put in higher highs. Money flow was also putting in lower highs. So we got money flow and momentum divs locally to go along with the daily divergences that we got regionally from here to here. Looking at it now in hindsight, I think, just shorting all-time high in this case as a range high SFP with divergences could have been a good trade. It would have been a valid trade. I did not take it. I did TP on my long here, though, and I am still in my long from, I think, my last video I made. I still have not taken any more profits on it. I think, the last profit I took was all-time high. So, yeah, I still have, my remaining position, and my stop loss is unfortunately right around my next zone of support if we lose this support that we're trying to hold up here. So, yeah, let me get into, more local analysis now. So after taking out all-time high right here, we are trying to hold support on the value area high of the sideways range that, started back here. You could also say that the range started at all-time high, so I might want to check that pull as well. And I mean, it's a pretty similar story. The point of control is different, but I still see this high volume node. There is still an area of high volume down in that support zone. So with either of these fixed range bulls, we are trying to hold the value area high. I think this is important support. I think if we lose the value area high significantly after taking out all-time high, then we are back to trading within the value area of the range, and I would potentially look for lower supports. Maybe this area around the point of control is good enough, but we could see a full-on rotation of the value area down to the value area low. There are a few local setups that I'm looking for. I don't think, if we start to slip below value area high, that I'm immediately going to start looking for lower supports. We could just slip below it again. We've kind of already done that multiple times here. But if we do start to lose this area and start retracing to lower supports, my first area of interest is between, the golden pocket and the point of control of this range, basically. I think I can click it and just have the numbers pop up on the right. So 97.2 to 96.350 about. And my second one is 94.500, we'll say, to 93.350. So now zooming in a bit more locally at the range that we've been trading in since taking out all-time high. It's more of like a triangle range, but I still consider it a range. I did make a little Twitter post about this earlier today. So we got some hidden bull divs on this low. As we were forming this triangle, we saw price making higher lows with momentum and money flow making lower lows. That's called a hidden divergence. It's kind of the opposite of a regular divergence. And following us getting that last move down to the triangle low, we started trying to break the triangle to the upside. And I was looking at this morning as I was at work, saying, we could continue higher after this. The hidden bull divs are, definitely something to go along with us breaking out of this triangle. But every time I see a triangle, I think of the possibility of a fake out of the triangle. Because a lot of times you'll see a triangle break one way before turning around to wreck everybody that traded a triangle breakout. Everyone that entered longs here is immediately wrecked. Maybe we actually reverse from there. Maybe we just do some kind of chop where we take out the lows, come back up, do whatever. I just look at triangles and I think, all right, there's going to be people that are inevitably going to try and long it as soon as we break out of it, or if we break out of it and retest it. And I've seen a lot of instances where those guys got wrecked, so I always like to look for fake outs of triangles. So looking at what has happened since, we continued to the upside a little bit, put in a higher high, we hit this daily level, and we have rejected from there. We are now currently sitting back in this triangle. So one idea I have is, all right, maybe we fake out both ways. We could come to the downside, maybe take out the low of the triangle, maybe take out local lows like this. And if I go to the liquidation heat map, there is apparently a lot of liquidity sitting down below that low at 101,200, which is that low that I marked out right here. And I am looking at the 1 hour thinking there's currently potential for divergences. If we get a quick move down to that low, we're already pretty close to it. If we just continue down a little bit more, we could see 1 hour divergences form here, possibly with money flow as well. And I think that would be a nice thing to go along with the hidden divergences that we got previously, right? We got the hidden divs here, and now possibly we get a regular div after just taking out this low. Maybe it's not, really a tradable sweep of the low. We could see like a massive move down, take out all these lows, and then try and reclaim it. And there's probably not going to be a great trade to take from that. But if it's shallow SFP and there's, confirmations on not just the 1 hour, but on the lower time frames as well, then it's an idea that I will probably be willing to trade. So that's, my local idea at the moment. I would probably be targeting, local-ish levels. I would be looking for maybe a move to the point of control of the range. We would also be taking out the value area low of the local range. So, looking for a move to the next logical point makes sense. And if it's good enough risk reward, then that's probably where I'll TP. And I think that might be all I have to talk about. So thank you everybody for watching the video. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, subscribing, leaving a comment. I appreciate the support on my channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.